Well, good afternoon, folks. Normally it's good morning, but, you know, had a busy kind of day today, and season's winding down. Here we are, the 7th of November, Remembrance Day coming up. Lots of stuff on the go, just tidying things up at the end of the year. What I normally do this time of year is I would plan my route down to Arizona, and I would put the cities in, that from here to Bangor, and then somewhere in Connecticut, and Virginia, South Carolina, Florida. Decide if I was going right down to South Florida, like Key West, for a couple of days, then come back up and take the 10 or the 8 across. So I would plot all those cities where I thought I would make, at the end of the day. The great thing now, during these COVID times, is that not only do you get the weather, but you get the case count, the new case count of that day, and the deaths. And I'm telling you that is kind of an eye-opener. And I'm not an extremist or an alarmist by any stretch of the imagination. But I am a planner. And I've got some big things happening in 2022 that I won't say much about right now. The old saying, loose lips sink ships. But it's going to take proper planning. It's going to take foresight. And it's also going to take the realization that I may be representing the interests of somebody else. So, just for example, this morning when I checked Phoenix, over 19,000 new cases today, 195 deaths. That's on their weather channel. So to do all the stuff that I've done at the end of this year, with these vests and the swag, the truck planning, all the other stuff that I've put in place, which is really preparation for next year. And to jeopardize my health, because those are significant numbers. And it's not only there. When I plot those cities, those numbers are alarmingly high in every one of those cities. And it's not like people wake up in the morning and they say, okay, we've got X amount of numbers in our state. Well, let's just, tighten up where we go and be really careful. But I'm going further and further and further. So I'm hitting each one of those places every day, and it's harder for me to isolate myself out of that. So there's a risk there, more so for me because of traveling every day than people that can, plunk and stay somewhere. Because I'm in a different hotel every day. I'm going to be in 3 different gas stations every day, probably 2 different restaurants, one for morning breakfast or something, and one for dinner at night. So there's a lot of opportunity to expose myself to certain risks. So thinking of what I want to do for next year, and this is the planning part, because I'm not really paying much attention to the other stuff. But to go there and possibly get sick and have to put a stop to all the things that I'm planning for next year is just not wise. And I'm kind of an impulsive person, always have been, but as I said just a few minutes ago, I may be advertising the interests of other people. And if I'm going to bring them along, which you may see over the course of the winter and in the spring. So I'm going to bring them along with the excitement that I do, and then to have it be canceled because I was, sick or didn't have the strength or whatever, then really all that I'm saying is that the planning side of me now is taking over the impulsive side. So I think I'm just going to park my butt home this winter. Work on the music I'm really, really enjoying. work on my fitness, get my strength back to where it was before. I haven't had the time. You know, the last really focused workout I did was probably the end of June, because we left the middle of July, so I knocked it off before that. Didn't want to, do something, was going to pull some kind of muscle or something like that and jeopardize that trip. So there's planning again. So say the end of June. So that's all of July, August, September, October, November. So probably the 1st of December, I will start that focused routine to develop my strength back for what's coming, and the music to bring myself up to another level, which is enjoyment. Never had to put my foot down. That's pretty good control. So I'm just happy to stay home, I guess, for the winter, and if it's a mild winter, I'll get to do a little bit of dirt runs. I haven't gone out and bought the drone yet. I'm going to probably wait till December or even in the new year. It's a significant purchase, but it's part of this plan. Shutting down all the bikes, the servicing, putting them away. Today I did a bunch of that stuff, moved them around in different garages. Lawn mowers, pressure washers, snow blowers, stuff to shut down and stuff to get ready. The old saying, the more you own, the more that you're going to have to look after. And just these maintenance things, like what gets shut down, where it goes, is it ready for next year? And what do you need for that season? Is that ready? So somehow I've moved back into all this stuff, and I guess that's what you just call life. But anyway, tomorrow I'm going to take the truck down and Tim's going to help me put the floor in it. I know where I went wrong now with that, but I made the commitment to him. So we'll do that. Coat it up, and I'll get my ceiling put back in it over the winter maybe, or the spring. Get the console made. I'm hoping that I can get the trailer for it next year, but I may not need the trailer for it next year. I'm going to be on the road quite a while. So the trailer is more the next step of the plan as far as camper, moving bikes, kind of a house, editing things, just I guess making life a little bit easier for what I like to do when I'm on the road. So I'll probably wait till maybe the new year and get the drone, and then it'll give me 3 or 4 months of the winter and maybe a couple in the spring to learn, some flying skills. Let's go down here to Oakland Point. Yeah, so as I was saying, to learn a little bit about that. So I guess in all this ramblings, it's been a great year. I'm happy. There was way back in March, April, there was the learning now of, if you think back where I was struggling, I had to go buy a laptop and I was trying to find out how to manipulate GoPro footage and Sena footage and all this stuff and make movies. And look where I'm at now, maybe 7 or 8 months later. I've got the web page up, Facebook personal and for the web page. Got logos all designed, swag, organized. So a big trip that took place. things reorganized, you know, as far as home infrastructure, and focus to keep it sort of going forward. So it has been a good year. And you look at, here it is, November 7th, and I'm taking the back road down to Mahone Bay, stop at the barn, have a coffee. My friends, life is good. Beautiful up there. Okay, guys. Y'all have a good one.